Good morning, ladies and gentlemen from 7th grade. I'm so glad to see you once again, my friends, but especially you. You can perfectly see me, I cannot see you, but anyway, it doesn't mean that you're not in my heart. Of course, you are in my heart, okay? So 100%, of course, you are in my heart, in my soul, my friends, okay? Well, today's class will be a little bit, different since we have been just working with probably WhatsApp and some different audios and some videos and some other stuff, But especially in today's class, you know what? The book is here. Give me just a second, please. Yes, I got it now. Thank you very much. Okay, so we are going to be focusing on another topic in today's class. Okay, I am at home actually, even though Bobby might interrupt. Bobby, silence. This is the last time. Thank you. Okay, you see? He's pretty obedient. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I am going to ask you to please focus on page number 30 from your student's book, okay? Page number 30 from your student's book. And finally, when we finish with this presentation, we are going to focus on page number 22 from the workbook, okay? Today's class is not going to be so difficult. Actually, let me tell you that this topic, I guess it's pretty well managed by you. I guess this is a topic that you should be familiar with by now. I am pretty sure that teacher, I don't know, probably teacher Loidalin, teacher Sharon, whoever was your teacher, might have talked to you about this topic, which is simple past and past continuous. Or some people say past progressive or past simple. It doesn't matter. It's the same, okay? No problem. So, past continuous has a specific function and simple past another one, and we can perfectly combine them, okay? Both of them. What is the idea? Well, the idea is that if we combine them, we have a different usage for both. And let me go step by step, okay? Something very simple, okay? For the past continuous, we have to be familiar for the following, especially the past continued. We use it for actions that probably, of course, they're in the past. Both of them are in the past. But actions probably that started in the past and probably the action continued until after that time, or probably the action stopped. Kind of like subjective topic, it's totally different from the simple past. As you can see, the simple past, this is especially used for an action that finished. It started and it finished in the past. Okay, let me give you some examples for the past continuous. We use was, were, depending on the subject, plus the verb in present continuous. And let me show you this. Continuous or progressive, which is the same. Okay, take a look on this part. Oh, by the way, this presentation, you can find it on Teams, okay? In the part where you go that says Files or Archivos, then you click on the part that says Materiales de clase, you will find this presentation, okay? So, pretty much we have the subject, depending on the subject, we use was or were. For was, I, he, she, it. For were, you, we, they. Okay, I guess we should be familiar with this by now. Then we continue with the verb plus ing plus another complement. Okay, example. We got Michael Jordan as one of the examples, one of the first examples. By 1996, Michael Jordan was, in this case, because he was playing with the Bulls. In this case, the complement with the Bulls. Now, this means especially, but 1996, probably he was playing with the Bulls, but it doesn't mean that he stopped in 1996. Probably he continued until after the 2000 years. All right, so probably, as I told you, this is kind of like subjective. It might finished, it might have continued. Okay, next example. Yesterday, my brothers, I'm talking at least about two, my brothers, in this case, I use were making noise when I was trying to sleep. Take a look that I can perfectly use in the same sentence, both using the past continuous, both statements. In this case, I was trying to sleep, my brothers were making a lot of noise, okay? Then in this case, I am using twice the past continuous or the past progressive in the same sentence, and it is possible. Next example. During the 19th century, Henry Ford was producing cars, okay? So 19th century, he was producing, but he might have continued until the 20th century. Actually, he did. He did continue in the 19th, and then he continued in the 20th century. So for that reason, as I told you, the action might have continued, the action might have stopped. Okay. Then we continued. They were eating breakfast until after 9 a.m. In this case, it's an action that was going. It was an ongoing action in the past. Simple past, totally different actions that were completed totally. All right. Take a look at this part. Very important. Regular and irregular verbs. You might say, wait a second. What about regular and irregular? How do we learn them? My friends, I have to tell you that there are no grammatical rules for the regular and irregular verbs. Unfortunately, we have to learn them. And yes, we have to learn them. How many verbs? Well, as many as you can. Now, what about the list of verbs? Okay, I compile, especially for you, my friends, a list of verbs in simple past, in a past perfect, the translation obviously in the simple present, that are the classical way that we use the verbs, and it's actually next to this presentation in the same part that says materiales de clase in Teams. So just for you to have perfect access to it, you will see that there is like a red little I next to some of the verbs. Those verbs are irregular verbs. The ones that don't have any eyeball, they are regular verbs. Regular verbs are very simple to use. How? You just have to add ed at the end, and that's it. You automatically have like the simple past. Irregular verbs, I'm gonna give you some examples. Let me show you. This is a regular verb. Why? You just have to add ed at the end. In some cases, depending on the verb, you have to replace the y for ied. Example, study. You don't say studied with y-e-d. No, you take off or you replace the y and you add IED. I studied very hard yesterday for the test, and so on. So this is an exception, okay? Richard played the piano for 150 people. Okay, it started in the past, but it finished in the past. That's it. We saw hummingbirds and toucans in our trip to Guanacaste. In this case, this is an irregular verb. Why? Because the simple present of saw would be see. I don't say seed. I don't say that. That would be like for semilla. Okay? Saw. In this case, saw. Okay? That would be pretty much an irregular verbs. As I told you, you should be familiar with this topic by now. Then, they launched the new iPhone last year. Lanzaron el nuevo iPhone el año pasado. In this case, regular, likewise, okay? It's a regular verb. Why? Because you just have to add ed at the end, and that's it. Next one, we continue with the last example. My mother bought a better laptop yesterday. You see? Another irregular verb, because the simple present would be buy, and bought, it's totally different. So no grammatical rules for the verbs. In this case, we have to memorize them. Okay, so finally, the past continuous and the simple past. As I told you, this represents especially that one sentence or one action, is replaced or is suddenly interrupted by the other one. Next one, we start with the first example. You see, I was talking with my mom on the phone when I received another phone call. I was having a very good time. I was with her, and suddenly, poof, something interrupted, which is another phone call. Okay, probably I was talking on my cell phone, and suddenly, the phone of my house rang. So for this, in this occasion, this is the first action, and suddenly, I was interrupted by receiving another phone call. Okay, then we continue. We were all playing outside the house when it started to rain. Likewise, it happens. Okay, we were playing an action that, an ongoing action in the past, and suddenly, poof, it was interrupted by another one. Then we continue. Ken was driving his car when he saw an accident on the highway. In this case, he was in an action, and suddenly, poof, he saw this accident on the highway. And finally, we have another example, which is this one. Martha saw your mom at the market when they were both shopping. In this case, you know what? Martha saw your mom. So the simple past in this case is at the beginning. It doesn't matter. The order doesn't matter. What? When? When they were both shopping. They were shopping. Estaban de compras. They were shopping. So pretty much, my friends, that would be everything. As I told you, this is not a difficult topic. What is difficult? Probably, my friends, what is very difficult is probably that we have to memorize the verbs, the simple past verbs, okay? So next class that we might have a Kahoot, okay? I promise I'll try to have a Kahoot so we can all play using the simple past verbs, regular and irregular verbs, okay? So I'm gonna ask you to please, my friends, when we finish this part, I am going to ask you to please focus on page number 22, okay? When you finish page number 22, we are going to meet in a moment, okay? I will let you know by WhatsApp in a specific moment so we can make corrections and confirm that we all have them correct. Okay, now listen, this is important. When you finish this, my friends, I am going to ask you, because I know probably that work is not going to be too much. Can perfectly finish this in what, 10, 15 minutes. And well, we still have some more time. I'm gonna ask you to please write 10 sentences using past continuous, 10 sentences using simple past, regular or irregular verbs. You can use the list that we have right there, okay, that we have right there on Teams. And finally, 10 sentences using the past continuous and the simple past at the same time, okay, like the examples that we have right here, okay? You can take a couple of examples from here if you want, but at the end, I'm gonna ask you to please write 30 sentences, okay? I know it's a lot, but people, the topic is simple. I'll say the topic is very simple, okay? So when we check the cotidiano, please, page number 22 from the workbook and the sentences that I requested, okay? And we're about to finish the period. We're almost done with the period for real, all right? Okay, people, I hope you have a great day. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.